And we're joined by the Vice President of Hockey Operations for the Carolina Hurricanes, Ron Francis. Thanks for doing this. I guess from your perspective, we'd like to get a sense of how you see things right now for Charlotte and the American Hockey League. Certainly this is the focus of your job right now, considering the situation. But what have you seen? Are you happy thus far with the progress of a number of your prospects?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one challenge that comes with this type of situation is we have a lot of extra bodies here. So you're trying to get everybody in, get them playing so they're not sitting too long and getting stale. But, certainly the guys have done a real good job. Not an easy schedule. Start with 9 on the road. Came through that pretty good. And so far, two of the first 3 here at home. So hopefully they can keep it going over the course of the season.
People always want to know specifically about certain players and how, in your eyes, you see their development. We have a player like Drayson Bowman who's been incredible this season and been consistent, something that perhaps had eluded him in years past. But he's one of the offensive forces for the team. Can you talk about his development and what you've seen from him thus far?
Well, he's a guy that in his past has scored a lot of goals. Junior hockey was a big goal scorer. Memorial Cup had a big goal-scoring run there as well. So, that's the piece of the puzzle we were looking for him to sort of add to his sort of resume here at this level, and so far he's done that this year. And that's a big step for him going forward. Hopefully, as he gets the opportunity at the next level, he can do that there as well.
Another player which has shown in great offense as well has been Zach Boychuk. He's consistently one of the leaders among Checkers players at the end of the season. This year, again, continuing the thrust of offensive force for Charlotte. Discuss what you see from him and what you see potentially in his future as well.
Well, really much happier with his game so far this season than probably all of last year. He just seems to be skating with much more confidence and authority out there. He's getting results around the net, which is good for him. And this is a guy that we thought of a lot, obviously drafting him as high as we did in the first round, and still continue to think a lot of him. And glad to see him taking the steps he's taken this year, and it seems he's sort of taken that next step to the next level. He's played some good games up top. Hopefully he can get up there and just sort of be a consistent performer and do that for us for a long time.
Another player that fans love to watch, and so do we, is Justin Faulk, for all the right reasons. He's certainly a kid with not only NHL upside, but potentially an NHL star. When you've seen in a very short time for a kid who's only 20 years old, the development, starting winning a national championship at Minnesota Duluth, stepping in the first year in the playoffs here for Charlotte, playing very well. To start the season here, very short stint, but then went to the National Hockey League and was one of your leaders at ice time and NHL all-rookie team. Could you be any happier with the progress of someone like Justin Faulk? And you can see it on the ice. He's in many ways, he plays the game at his own pace. He seems to slow it down. That's always an attribute of a superstar.
Yeah, no, I mean, to give you the short answer for your question, no. I mean, I don't think we could be any happier with Justin than what we are right now. This is a very special player. And, that position is so tough to play defense in this league, and to do it as, last year he was up in the NHL as a 19-year-old and just absolutely playing outstanding, leading our team in ice time and in a lot of categories for us. And for him to come down here and play the way he's played, it's sort of what we expected, but shows you the character he has to go along with that talent, and we just think he's going to be a special player for us, not for the short term, but for a long term. This kid is a special defenseman.
I want to ask you about one more player, and that's Zach Dalpe. Moving from center to the wing, I don't know how much experience you had with that, but it's not necessarily an easy thing to do, to move positions if you've been playing one position for the majority of your career. Zach has had the transition in full-fledged mode this season after last year going up and down and kind of going back and forth between the two spots. How difficult is it? How has he rose to the challenge, and what have you seen from him playing on the right side?
Well, there's no question it's difficult to sort of change, and this is sort of a work in progress. It's something that we're trying. I'm not sitting here saying it's something we're going to leave there forever, but he was a guy that we thought every time he got called up and put into a wing position. Every time he got sent down, he was playing center. It's tough on the kid like that to deal with those changes. So we thought if we got him some time on the wing down here and he could use his speed and his shot, learn to come late and sort of expose the defenseman with that speed, hopefully would generate some more for him. And Zach's a great kid and the ultimate team player, and no complaints from him. He's giving it a go and seeing how it's going. And I've seen signs of that improving as the season's gone along, and we'll continue to monitor that. And I'm not saying at some point we don't put him back at center, because we were happy with him there too. We're just trying to get him a little bit more so that if he bounces back and forth, he has that experience and it makes that adjustment a little bit easier for him.
I want to thank you for taking the time to join us this morning, and hopefully things get underway on both levels pretty soon. It's certainly tough not to watch NHL hockey, but for now we're glad to have you down here watching games in Charlotte.
Thank you, my pleasure, and I agree with you. Hopefully we get going here pretty soon up top.